This episode is brought to you by William Hill's Final One Standing. Can you outlast the AFTV crew? Step up or step out.
AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date. Your players will be linked with a transfer move to Arsenal.
Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Excellent win for Arsenal yesterday. Off to a great start in the Premier League. 2 wins out of 2 games and a 5-0 victory yesterday over Leeds United. And I'll tell you what, it was an incredible day. If you were writing a script, I think it was Stricto who I interviewed yesterday, said it. If you were writing a script, it couldn't get much better. Right, Gyökeres with 2 goals. Max Dowman coming on, great cameo, won that penalty. 2 goals for Timber. And of course, the announcement at the start of the game with Eberici Eze, that was absolutely incredible. And also to add to that, I'm through to the next round of Final One Standing because I had Arsenal to win and they didn't let me down, right? So through to the next round, just to remind everybody of that. If you're entering, you'll have to enter next week now. But get your entrance in. There's a weekly league every week with a prize pot, right? So it's free to enter. Remember the rules. You can only pick one team. That means I can't pick Arsenal again. That's it. I'm done. Right? I can't pick Arsenal again now. But they've got me through to the next round. If your team wins, you're through to the next round of Final One Standing. If you lose or draw, you are out, right? And of course, chance if you had entered right from the start to win £500,000. You've got to be over 18, based in the UK or Ireland. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. But I'm through to the next round. But going back to the game, the Eze moment was absolutely incredible. When he was brought out onto that pitch, the reaction of the fans, the reaction of Eze himself. I mean, well done to Arsenal for doing that. Right? I've always said for years, why don't Arsenal bring their new signings out onto the pitch? They do it at many other clubs, especially around Europe. Bring them out. Let the fans show them some love. And they did that yesterday, and that was absolutely fantastic. And by the way, I thought Madueke as well, the other signing who featured in the game, played very well as well. And Zubimendi. Don't forget Zubimendi. He had a really, really good game as well. Of course, Gyökeres getting a brace. So, all round for Arsenal, for the new signings, it was a really, really good day, and for the club, and a 5-0 win. The only downside of yesterday was injuries to Bukayo Saka, who scored a really, really good goal in the game, and again showed how important he is to this football club, and the captain, Martin Odegaard, who went down with what looked like a shoulder injury. Saka's looked like a hamstring. And Odegaard's one looked like a shoulder injury. And you know Odegaard's not just going to come off just like that. Now, despite all the signings that have been made, this is a bit worrying. Remember, on top of that as well, Havertz is out. I mean, it shows the need straight away for having a good squad, right? The fact that we know he can go to Liverpool next week and you're going to be able to bring Eze in, and you're going to be able to bring Madueke. He can play on that right-hand side if Saka's out and stuff like that. But if any of these injuries are long-term, could Arsenal be forced to go back and try and bring in another signing before the end of this transfer window? Because we don't know yet the status of these injuries. The Havertz one, they've been very quiet on. I'm very worried about that one because a lot of times when they're quiet on these injuries for quite a while, it could mean that it could be a long-term one. The Saka one, we don't know what grade of hamstring injury that's going to be. I know we've got cover in that area, but if it's a long-termer, you know, Arsenal's hand could be forced again to go back in to the transfer market and maybe bring in yet another attacking player, despite, you know, what Max Dowman did yesterday. Remember, he's only 15. So could Arsenal go back for Rodrygo before the end of this transfer window? That is the one I feel that, you know, is still one to watch. Of course, you know, Real Madrid playing today, Osasuna away. If he doesn't play in that, I mean, he's not been figuring, but if he doesn't play in that, it could be that they're just keeping him out of the team because they know he could possibly move. after watching Man City yesterday, they could probably do with a Rodrygo. They might move for him. Liverpool could move for him as well if they don't get Alexander Isak. So there's a lot of pieces in play here. But if Arsenal, if any of those injuries are long-term, Arsenal may go back in. And listen, I don't think they're going to go back in and look to bring in someone like Rodrigo by spending a fee on him, because he'd be too expensive. And, you've got, financial fair play rules, PSR rules. But a loan for a Rodrigo could definitely be a possibility before the end of the transfer window. So definitely one to watch. This one's interesting. Don't know if you guys have heard of this name. Victor Vuna. I hope I pronounced it right. Of Shamrock Rovers over there in Ireland. Now, I've done my extensive research and I found out that he's an attacking midfielder and he's 16 years old. I haven't really done much research on it. I don't know who he is, to be honest. He's a new player on the radar, but said to be an amazing talent. Arsenal have reportedly agreed a deal with Shamrock Rovers to sign him. It's a pre-contract deal, said to be worth around about 4 million euros, and there will be a sell-on clause inserted in the contract. Now, it seems to be some people saying it could be done straight away. It's more likely to be a pre-contract deal with him coming in January, but he's said to be a real top prospect. Great move for him. Great move for Shamrock Rovers because they get a load of money in. And listen, at 16, he's a veteran after seeing what Max Dowman was doing yesterday. But no, probably wouldn't expect him to come in and be into the first team, but Arsenal's set to make that signing. Of course, outgoings are going to be the focus for Arsenal over this next week. Just over a week of the transfer window to go. Shuts on the 1st of September on the Monday at 7 p.m. And it was notable yesterday that there was no Reece Nelson in the Arsenal squad. No Fabio Viera in the Arsenal squad. No Sambi Lokonga and no Oleg Zinchenko in that squad at all. And it's quite obvious that Arsenal are looking to move those players on. Now, Fabio Viera has been linked with a move to Bayern Munich by the German journalist Florian Plettenberg. He claims that Bayern are still on the lookout for attacking midfielder and could make a loan move for Fabio Viera. There's one that they're watching between now and the end of the window. The Stuttgart thing still hasn't gone through. It seems to be fading as well. But there are lots of clubs interested in Fabio Viera. Most of them would rather take him on loan. But lots of clubs interested in trying to get him before the end of the transfer window. Sambi Lokonga hasn't figured in pre-season, hasn't figured in any of the squads so far for the Premier League games. And obvious that Arsenal are looking to move him out. Now, Trabzonspor over there in Turkey are the latest club who are said to be interested in Albert Sambi Lokonga. Again, Arsenal would like to see him go out on a permanent deal, but it's more likely again to be some sort of loan deal. But Trabzonspor are exploring how they can get a deal done for Albert Sambi Lokonga, who spent last season on loan at Sevilla. Now, what about Jakub Kivior? Out of all of the players that are available, he seems to be the one that's garnering the most interest. He was in the squad yesterday, but was an unused substitute. Notably, it was Christian Mosquera who came on later on in the game. Jakub Kivior, unused, not yet played in the Premier League. There are lots and lots of interest in him from various clubs, both here in the Premier League and abroad. But he's said to prefer a move, if it does happen, in the Premier League. Now, could Palace move for him? They still could lose Mark Gahey before the end of the transfer window. And with him preferring a move in the Premier League, it would be a decent move for Kivior, but one to watch. There's a lot of moving parts now between now and the end of the transfer window. It's going to depend, like with some of these players that Arsenal ship out. It's going to depend on what other teams are doing with their players. There's going to be a lot of movement. But of course, we'll keep you up to date with all of it here on Transfer Daily. So do not miss a thing. 1 week to go on Transfer Daily. Do not miss a thing. Keep it locked here. Subscribe. And of course, we're here every day until it finishes. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you tomorrow.
You lot are always in the comments saying that we don't know ball. Well, now it's your chance to prove it. We've partnered with William Hill to bring you Final One Standing. The rules are simple. Pick a Premier League team every week. Win, you stay in. Lose or draw, you're out. But you can only pick each team once. It's free to play. You need to have a William Hill app to play, so scan the QR code on the screen or hit the link in the description below to get involved. 18 plus, UK only. Please gamble responsibly. Terms and conditions apply, and full terms are in the link below. Don't worry if you get knocked out. There's new games with new jackpots every Premier League week. Let's see who's the final one standing.